You're exhausted from chasing, from convincing, from proving, from pursuing what feels like it's running away from you. And here's what you need to hear right now. What's actually meant for you doesn't require a chase. It's already on its way to you. The job, the relationship, the opportunity, the breakthrough, if it's genuinely yours, it's moving toward you right now. Stop chasing. Start receiving. Let me tell you something that's going to save you years of wasted energy. If you have to chase it relentlessly, it's probably not yours. Real alignment doesn't require constant pursuit. Divine appointment doesn't play hard to get. What's genuinely meant for you recognizes you and responds to you without you having to beg for its attention. Think about it. When was the last time something truly aligned with your destiny required you to exhaust yourself chasing it? When was the last time something divinely appointed demanded that you prove your worth over and over just to get basic consideration? The things that are actually yours don't make you grovel. They don't make you jump through endless hoops. They don't require you to twist yourself into someone you're not just to gain access. They meet you. They recognize you. They click into place with a sense of rightness that doesn't need force. Now, I'm not saying nothing requires effort. I'm not saying everything meant for you will just fall into your lap with zero action on your part. But there's a massive difference between effort and chase. Effort is you showing up consistently, doing your part, taking aligned action. Chase is you running after something that keeps moving away, convincing something that should naturally want you, begging for something that should be freely given. When you're in effort, you feel energized, even when you're working hard. You feel purposeful. You feel like you're building towards something. When you're in chase, you feel depleted. You feel desperate. You feel like you're losing yourself in the pursuit. And here's the key distinction. Effort moves you forward. Chase keeps you running in circles. Effort produces results that compound. Chase produces exhaustion that accumulates. If you're currently chasing something, a person, a position, an opportunity, and it keeps evading you, ask yourself honestly, is this thing running from me because it's testing my commitment, or because it's not mine? Is this resistance teaching me perseverance, or is it showing me redirection? Sometimes what feels like a door that's stuck is actually a door that's locked. And locked doors aren't meant to be broken down. They're meant to send you looking for the door that's actually open. What's yours doesn't require chase. It requires recognition. And the moment you recognize what's actually yours versus what you're forcing, you stop wasting energy on pursuits that were never meant to succeed and start receiving what was always meant to find you. Here's what happens when you stop chasing. You redirect all that energy into becoming, into developing yourself, into building your capacity, into preparing for what's coming instead of running after what's leaving. And that shift from pursuing to becoming is where the magic happens, because what you're chasing is often attracted to who you're becoming. The things you want are looking for the person you're being called to be. And as long as you're focused on the chase, you're not focused on the transformation. Think about how much mental energy you've spent obsessing over what you don't have. How much emotional energy you've invested in convincing people to choose you, opportunities to pick you, doors to open for you. How much time you've spent strategizing your next move in the pursuit, planning your next approach, figuring out what you need to say or do to finally get what you've been chasing. Now imagine redirecting all of that energy into yourself, into your skills, into your character, into your spiritual development, into your mental health, into your creative projects, into your purpose, into becoming the version of yourself that's ready for what's meant for you. That's not selfish. That's strategic. Because the universe responds to frequency, not force. It responds to who you are, not how hard you're trying. It responds to your vibration, not your desperation. And here's what's wild. The moment you stop chasing and start becoming, what you were chasing often starts chasing you. Not because you manipulated it with reverse psychology, but because you finally aligned with the frequency it was looking for all along. The job you were chasing starts seeking candidates like the person you became while you stopped chasing it. The relationship you were pursuing starts attracted to the wholeness you developed while you stopped pursuing it. The opportunity you were begging for starts opening for the version of you that emerged when you stopped begging. This is how divine timing works. You stop forcing. You start flowing. You stop chasing. You start becoming. And in that becoming, you naturally align with what was always meant to be yours. Your energy is finite. You can spend it running after things that are moving away from you, or you can invest it in becoming the person who naturally attracts what's meant for them. One is exhausting and often fruitless. The other is fulfilling and always fruitful. Choose becoming. The pursuit will take care of itself. While you've been chasing what you think you need, what you actually need has already been set in motion. It's already moving toward you. You just can't see it yet because you're looking in the wrong direction, toward what you're chasing instead of toward what's approaching. Divine orchestration doesn't wait for you to figure everything out. It doesn't need your permission to start arranging pieces. While you've been focused on one thing, heaven has been coordinating another. While you've been pursuing one path, the universe has been preparing a different one. And here's the truth you need to accept. You don't know what you actually need. You know what you want. You know what looks good from your limited perspective. You know what would make sense based on your current understanding. But you don't have access to the full picture. You can't see all the variables. You can't predict all the outcomes. So you chase what looks right, what feels urgent, what seems like the obvious next step. And meanwhile, what's actually right for you, what's perfectly aligned with your highest good, your true purpose, your ultimate destination, is being prepared behind the scenes. It's not ready yet. That's why you can't access it. It's not time yet. That's why the door hasn't opened. The people involved aren't in position yet. The circumstances aren't aligned yet. The timing isn't perfect yet, but it's in motion. It's being arranged. The connections are being made. The resources are being allocated. The doors are being unlocked. The path is being cleared. And the only thing that can delay it is you. You chasing the wrong thing and getting tangled up in something that was never meant for you. You forcing a door that was meant to stay closed and missing the door that's about to open. You settling for less because you're tired of waiting and forfeiting the more that was coming. What's meant for you is already in motion. The best thing you can do is stop interfering with its arrival. Stop chasing distractions. Stop forcing counterfeits. Stop settling for almost because you're impatient for exactly. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that what's being prepared for you is worth the wait, worth the patience, worth the faith it takes to stop chasing and start trusting. It's already in motion, and it's moving toward you faster than you're moving toward it. So stop running. Stand still. Be ready, because what's yours is on its way, and you don't want to miss it because you were too busy chasing something else. Here's a hard truth. Desperation is a repellent. No matter how much you want something, if you want it from a place of desperation, you push it away. If you pursue it from lack, scarcity, fear of never having it, You create an energy that repels the very thing you're chasing. Desperation says, I'm incomplete without this. I'm not enough as I am. I need this to be okay. And that energy is suffocating. It's heavy. It's needy. And whether we're talking about people, opportunities, or circumstances, nothing wants to be needed that desperately. Think about it in relational terms. When someone pursues you desperately, when they need you to validate them, complete them, save them, how does that feel? It doesn't feel like love. It feels like pressure. It feels like you're being asked to carry a weight that's not yours to carry. The same principle applies to everything else. When you chase a job desperately, employers feel it. When you pursue an opportunity from scarcity, decision makers sense it. When you go after anything from a place of, I need this or I'm not okay, that need creates resistance. But when you pursue something, or better yet, when you're open to receiving something from a place of wholeness, from a place of, this would be great, but I'm okay either way, that changes the entire energy. You're no longer chasing from lack. You're inviting from abundance. And here's what's powerful about that shift. When you're no longer desperate for something, when you're genuinely okay with or without it, you stop repelling it. You stop creating the energetic resistance that was blocking it. You stop sabotaging your own desires with the desperation to have them. This doesn't mean you don't care. This doesn't mean you have no preferences. This doesn't mean you're indifferent. It means you're detached from the outcome. It means your peace isn't dependent on getting what you want. It means you trust that what's meant for you will come, and what's not meant for you wouldn't serve you anyway. That detachment is magnetic. That peace is attractive. That trust is powerful. So if you've been chasing something desperately, stop. Detach. Find your wholeness without it. Reclaim your peace independent of having it. And watch what happens when you shift from desperate pursuit to peaceful openness. What's yours will come, but it will come when you're ready to receive it without needing it to complete you. Because completion is not something you get from external things. It's something you cultivate internally. And once you have it, everything else becomes an addition to your wholeness, not a requirement for it. Timing is everything. And part of stopping the chase is trusting timing, understanding that the right things find you at the right time, not when you decide you're ready, but when you actually are ready. You might think you're ready right now. You might feel ready. You might want to be ready. But readiness isn't just about desire. It's about capacity. It's about maturity. It's about having built the internal infrastructure to sustain what you're asking for. And here's what most people don't realize. The chase is often a sign of premature desire. You want something before you're ready to steward it. You're pursuing something before you've developed the character to maintain it. You're trying to force timing because you think you know better than the universe about when you should have what you want. But think about the times in your past when you desperately wanted something, didn't get it, and later realized that not getting it was a blessing. Think about the things you chased that in hindsight would have been disasters if you'd actually caught them. Think about the doors that didn't open, that years later you're grateful stayed closed. That's divine timing protecting you. That's the universe saying not yet, not as punishment, but as preparation. That's heaven holding back what you want until you're ready for what you need. The right job finds you when you've developed the skills and character to excel in it. The right relationship finds you when you've healed enough to not repeat old patterns. The right opportunity finds you when you've built the capacity to maximize it. And if you force these things prematurely, If you chase them down before the timing is right, you might get them, but you won't keep them, because premature acquisition leads to eventual loss. What you get before you're ready, you lose as soon as the requirement to maintain it exceeds your capacity. So stop trying to control the timing. Stop trying to accelerate what needs to develop naturally. Stop trying to force doors open before they're meant to open. Trust that what's meant for you will find you at exactly the right time. Not early, not late, right on time. And that timing will be perfect even when it doesn't feel perfect. Because the universe can see what you can't. It knows what you need to become before you can receive what you want. The right things find you at the right time. Your job is to be patient enough to wait for right instead of settling for right now. If you have to constantly prove your worth to someone or something, that's not your place. If you have to repeatedly demonstrate your value to gain basic respect or consideration, that's not your opportunity. If you have to beg for recognition from people or platforms that should naturally see what you bring, you're in the wrong room. What's actually yours recognizes you. It sees you. It values you without you having to perform or prove or convince. It knows what you carry and honors it without you having to fight for acknowledgement. And here's what happens when you stop trying to prove yourself to what doesn't recognize you. You free up energy to be seen by what does. You stop wasting time convincing the wrong people and start attracting the right people. You stop performing for audiences that will never applaud and start stepping on to stages that were built for your message. Think about how much energy you've spent trying to get certain people to see your worth. How many times you've gone above and beyond trying to prove you deserve the opportunity. How hard you've worked to convince someone that you're valuable, qualified, capable. And think about how exhausting that's been, how depleting, how diminishing to your sense of self. Now imagine if you took all that energy and directed it towards spaces that already recognize what you bring, toward people who immediately see your value, toward opportunities that don't require you to prove you belong, because they know you belong the moment you show up. Those spaces exist. Those people exist. Those opportunities exist. But you'll never find them if you're too busy trying to convince the wrong spaces, people, and opportunities that you're worthy of consideration. What's yours doesn't make you audition repeatedly. It doesn't require you to grovel. It doesn't demand that you shrink yourself to fit or perform yourself into acceptance. What's yours says, I see you. I recognize what you carry. I value what you bring. Welcome. And that recognition is instant. It's natural. It's mutual. You recognize what's yours, and it recognizes you. No chase required. No proof demanded. Just alignment, acknowledgement, and mutual respect. So stop proving. Stop performing. Stop convincing. If they don't see you, they're not your people. If it doesn't recognize you, it's not your place. If you have to chase recognition, you're in the wrong room. Walk away. Find the spaces that already know your name. Find the people who already value your presence. Find the opportunities that already recognize what you bring. They're out there, and they're not making you chase them. They're ready to receive you the moment you stop chasing what doesn't want to be caught. While we're talking about stopping the chase, we need to address something deeper. Your worth isn't determined by what chooses you. Not the job, not the person, not the opportunity, not the acceptance. Your worth exists independent of external validation. And this is why the chase is so damaging. Because when you chase something desperately, you're unconsciously making your worth dependent on catching it. You're telling yourself, if I get this, I'm valuable. If they choose me, I'm worthy. If this works out, I'm enough. But that's a lie. A devastating lie that will keep you in chase mode forever. Because there will always be something else to chase, someone else to convince, another opportunity to prove yourself worthy of. Your worth is inherent. It's not earned. It's not granted by external sources. It's not determined by who picks you or what opens for you. You are valuable because you exist. You are worthy because you're here. You are enough because that's your nature, not your achievement. And when you truly believe that, when you anchor your worth in something unshakable, you stop chasing because you're no longer using external validation to prove internal value. You're no longer seeking approval to confirm worth that's already established. This is the freedom that stops the chase. When you know your worth isn't determined by outcomes, you can pursue things without desperation. When you understand your value isn't defined by who chooses you, you can put yourself out there without neediness. When you recognize you're enough regardless of results, you can take action without attachment. And paradoxically, that's when things start choosing you. Because energy that's not desperate is magnetic. Confidence that's not arrogant is attractive. Worth that doesn't need validation radiates in a way that draws what's meant for you directly to you. So stop looking for worth in external sources. Stop letting rejection decrease your value or acceptance increase it. Stop using outcomes as measurements of your enoughness. You are worthy, right now, as you are, with or without the thing you're chasing, with or without the person who chose someone else, with or without the opportunity that passed you by. Your worth is not in question. It never was. The only question is whether you believe it enough to stop chasing validation and start living from the certainty of your inherent value. When you do, the chase ends and the receiving begins. Finally, understand this. Sometimes the reason what's yours hasn't arrived yet is because your hands are full of what isn't yours. Sometimes you have to release what you're chasing to make room for what's trying to reach you. You can't receive with closed fists. You can't catch what's coming if your hands are gripping what's going. You can't make space for the new if you're clutching the old. And this is often the final lesson before the breakthrough. The lesson of release. Letting go of the person you've been chasing who clearly doesn't want to be caught. Releasing the opportunity you've been forcing that clearly isn't opening. Walking away from the path you've been pushing down that clearly has a closed gate. That release feels like loss. It feels like giving up. It feels like admitting defeat. But it's actually the opposite. It's making space. It's clearing room. It's opening your hands to receive what you couldn't hold while you were gripping what was never meant to stay. Think about it physically. If your hands are full of the wrong things, you literally cannot pick up the right things when they appear. You have to put down what you're holding to grab what's being offered. The same is true energetically, emotionally, spiritually. If your energy is consumed by chasing the wrong thing, you don't have energy to recognize the right thing. If your emotional capacity is filled with hoping for what isn't coming, you don't have capacity to appreciate what is coming. If your spiritual focus is locked on forcing one door, you're not paying attention to the door that's actually opening. What you release makes room for what you're meant to receive. And sometimes what you need to release is the very thing you've been chasing. That relationship that keeps almost working but never quite does. That job that keeps having positions almost right for you but not exactly. That opportunity that keeps seeming close but never materializing. That dream that keeps feeling possible but never actualizing. Maybe it's time to release it, not because you're giving up on what you want, but because you're making room for what's actually meant for you. Not because you're settling for less, but because you're clearing space for more. And here's what's powerful about that release. The moment you let go of what you were chasing, you often discover what was chasing you. The moment you stop forcing one door, you notice another door that's been open the whole time. The moment you release what isn't working, you become available for what does work. What's yours doesn't require you to hold on with white knuckles. It doesn't require you to chase it down. It requires you to open your hands, release what isn't it, and receive what is. So, if you've been chasing something that keeps evading you, consider this. Maybe it's evading you, so you'll finally release it. Maybe it's staying out of reach, so you'll finally look in a different direction. Maybe it's not coming, so you'll notice what's already here. Release the chase. Open your hands. Make room. What's yours is on its way, but you might need to let go of what isn't yours to receive it. So stop chasing, chosen one. Stop running after what's running from you. Stop convincing what should naturally recognize you. Stop proving worth that's already established. Stop forcing doors that are meant to stay closed. What's yours is already on its way. It's in motion. It's being prepared. It's moving toward you while you're reading these words. And it doesn't require a chase. It requires recognition, readiness, receptivity. Your job isn't to make it happen. Your job is to be ready when it arrives, to have your hands open, to have your energy available, to have your focus clear enough to recognize it when it shows up. Rest in the knowing that what's meant for you cannot miss you. Trust that divine timing is more precise than your planning. Believe that the universe is coordinating what you can't control. And while you're waiting, become, develop, prepare, build, grow. Not to earn what's coming, but to be ready to steward it when it arrives. The chase is over. The receiving is beginning. And what's yours is closer than you think. Stop chasing. Start trusting. What's yours is on its way.